Good morning, sports fans. Today is Sunday, April 5th, 2026. You are watching Rate Game Live with yours truly, Nick Mark George. This is a sports show that is super niche. They say always go for the niches. Niches create riches, I think is the saying. So let me tee this up for you. This is the kind of sports show that you're watching. It's a sports show that's run by a husband and wife, producer over here, talent. You're looking at them. It's about sports. It's powered by sports fans. So you shape the show, folks on Rate Game. Rate the games that you watch and talk about them. And it happens every morning, and there's no gambling. We don't talk about gambling. We don't need it. So think about that. Husband and wife, you shape the show, no gambling. That sounds like your cup of tea. Glad you're with us. Thanks for watching. So, starting it off with a segment that we do every morning. It's called Were the Sports Good? So, we take a look back last 24 hours, take a little snapshot, and we say, okay, based on the games, based on the fans that watched and then rated them, what do we think? Was this good? Was this bad? Are we going to remember? Are we going to forget? And it's a visual thing because I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual guy. So looking at that little segment, there we go. Mixed bag. So yeah, a couple of games last night really weighed this one down. One in particular that we'll certainly talk about. 5.97 out of 10. That is on the low side. We usually net somewhere in the mid sixes, I'd say, like 6.5 and up is certainly something that we'll want to remember. Immediately, what jumps out at me here is the NBA at an 8.26. Only 3 games, so a small sample size, which means that one game in particular could really sway this. But it makes you think, ooh, what happened here? Makes you want to explore, makes you want to kind of dig a little deeper. And that's exactly what I did. And lo and behold, I found an alien and a joker going at it. So we'll talk about that to kick things off. The next thing that we do after this is we scroll all the way down here and we say, okay, how are we doing on our road to 1 million? 1 million ratings is the name of the game. That's 2 commas. That's 7 figures. And we are marching. We are ever so slowly, day by day, brick by brick, rating by rating, making our way to the promised land. And we're doing it in bands of 100,000. So we just crossed 200,000. Slowly but surely, we're getting to 300,000, 8.2% of the way there. And then overall, big picture, backing it out, 20.8% on our way to 1 million. So that's 280,000 ratings for those keeping score at home. I have a new mic, by the way, so I'm curious how this sounds. I sound, I think, more. My voice is deeper just because I think there's a new microphone here. So the placebo effect is real. I wonder if it. I'm getting the awkward octopus, folks. That means it's time to move on. That means my producer's had enough of me talking about the mic. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's go into Alien versus Joker. So last night, lots of basketball being played. NBA had a very light slate, 3 total games. One of them was the marquee matchup, 2 of the game's greatest going toe-to-toe in an absolute thriller. Who am I talking about? You have Victor Wembanyama, of course, of the San Antonio Spurs, and you have Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. Different players, but mutual respect, and I would say you have one who has been there, done that, Nikola Jokic, multiple MVP winner, NBA champion. And then you have the new guy on the block. You have Victor Wembanyama. Maybe we'll see him get his first MVP this season. He's already taking the Spurs back to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Talking about since 2019. That's quite a drought that he's ending. And so last night, they go toe-to-toe, and they did not disappoint. That's why you're seeing a green on the NBA, is because these guys just went at it. So let's see if we can just clue you in right away. What happens if I do this? Maybe you should go to the other view for this video, because if I expand it, it'll break it. I knew it. Yeah, but if you do the other one, watch. All right, here we go. So this is Joker versus Alien. Literally could be a movie. That's Stan Van Gundy. Wow. Stan Van Gundy is so versatile. Guys calling March Madness last week, and now he's on this game. That's fantastic. The guy just loves ball. The Van Gundy family between Jeff and Stan are just absolute ball knowers. I love the fact that they're just always around the game. However they can get their fix, they'll like announce a game or call a March Madness game. Fantastic basketball family. All right, so yeah, this shot right here from Joker epitomizes, I think, everything that makes him so special, is the fact that he is backing you down and, time's running out. There's like 7 seconds left on the shot clock. You've got the tallest guy in the league who is a literal alien defending him, and he somehow gets the shot off over him and it goes in. So if you are Victor Wembanyama and like you're not able to defend this, then no one's defending. No one can defend that. That's indefensible. If you're able to get a shot off over Victor Wembanyama, you can get your shot off over anybody. So let's go to see what that one, Victor. Yes, that was him. Do you want to see it again? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to see it again. I think my producer just realized that was maybe our future MVP. Right? You got air. Crazy. All right. So going to the actual game itself and seeing that this is clocking it at a 9. The other view for oh, there you go. That one. The 9-0 here for a regular season game is in 35 fans. That's a lot. And also just looking at the breakdown, you had 9-6 for Nuggets fans and an 8-6 for Spurs fans, and the neutral sitting at 9-1. So this was like an incredible. This is like game of the year conversation right here for the NBA for sure. As a 9-0. And a little fun fact here: we were looking at this morning. My producer and I were saying, what is the significance of this? But this is the kind of stuff where if you submit it on a game, it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that. And now that I know that, I feel more knowledgeable, more educated, and like I actually am closer to this game than I was like 2 seconds before reading it, which is exactly what this is all about. So thank you to I Am Rami. We read this morning. We're like, oh, that is cool. So the Spurs led this game, had a lead in this game for 87.4%, and they lost. They lost in overtime, and Joker had a large part to do with that. So very cool. Obviously, he gets your player of the game. I voted for him. And I said the playoffs are next week, but we just saw what's coming. So I think the way that the bracket's shaping out in the NBA, especially with my poor guy LeBron James losing Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves back to back in the last 48 hours, I think they're out for the first round easily. So wouldn't you know it, 41-year-old LeBron James in season 23 now has to carry the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs if he wants to get some support, get them back, because they're going to need time to rest, which is a crime. So I think all things considered, we would see this matchup in the second round of the NBA playoffs, which would be insane. This is like in any other year, this is like a Western Conference Finals matchup. But of course, you have OKC now. So you have OKC, the Spurs, and the Nuggets, I think, are all verified contenders this year for the title. You have OKC, obviously you're defending champs. You have the Spurs, who seem to be the only team that can beat them. And then you have the Nuggets, who seem to be the only team that can beat the Spurs. So it's like this little triangle of like superpowers in the West. Crazy. Whoever comes out of the East, knock on wood, the Knicks are going to have their challenge cut out for them. Yeah, I don't know how anybody in the East beats any of these teams. Jokic's pretty damn good and snaps the Spurs winning streak. Helton Head says, "What's the matter, alien? You don't like a good Joker?" I like that. Impressive cooperation by the Nuggets. Way too many misses from Darren Fox in clutch time, though. Okay. Jokic out here saving my season in fantasy. Underwood for Heisman. Wow. My man is having quite a little run here between this and his Michigan Wolverines. Holy moly, good game. Fourth quarter in OT right out of sports anime. Amen. Yes. Whenever these two get together, it's always just like so dramatic. And you just have, just incredible nicknames for Joker and Wemby, the alien. So love the theater here. All right. Our main event here, obviously, is going to be about what transpired last night. And obviously, being the Final Four, you are hoping for just more of what this tournament has already delivered, which is some instant classics, which is, I would say, overall competitive basketball. There haven't been too many blowouts. There haven't been too many certified stinkers. And the first game was, I think, more in line with what we're used to, which is a compelling enough competitive basketball game for like 35 minutes where you're interested and there's runs, there's comebacks, guys are hitting shots, there's some strategy involved, and it ended up going UConn's way. UConn had, I think, the more experienced roster. They obviously had the coach who had been there 3 out of the 4 years. Now he's going to be 3 out of the 4 years. He's going back to the final, which is just absolutely insane. I think everybody loves to rag on Dan Hurley because he's very, he's hateable. Let's be honest. Like, he comes off as a little bit of an arrogant guy. And I think he knows that. I think he likes it. I think that's what feeds his whole shtick, is just like, yeah, I am that guy, but now I have to back it up. But therein lies, I think, the beauty and kind of the special sauce that makes him so great. And it works. It works. So 3 out of the 4 years, he will be in not just the final, not just the Final Four, the final game. He'll be playing for a championship. If UConn wins this game, if they're able to beat Michigan, I think he is immediately in the conversation for greatest of all time coach. Immediately. And I don't think that's crazy to say at all. So doing some research on Dan, came across this clip, which just shows you like the contrast of how he gets treated at home by his wife. I thought it was hilarious. Let's listen in. Love that. You love to hear that. I love that his wife just gives it right back to him. What do I say? Well, that's right. My producer says behind every successful man is a equally powerful, strong woman. And I could not agree more. So congratulations to Dan Hurley for having just a wonderful champion in his corner. More than I think he always talks about her too. I think she was the main reason, if I remember correctly, why he didn't go take the Laker job. I think is because he didn't want to make his family, in particular her, move to Los Angeles, because I think his kids are grown. So yeah, I think tomorrow night we see him versus Dusty May. Dusty May, who was scouting this game, and now it all makes sense. Of course he's scouting this game. Of course he wants to see what Dan Hurley's doing because he knows that he's going to be playing him on Monday night. So that, talk about gamesmanship and strategy. Dusty May's out here playing 4D chess. And, this game was okay. It got, let's see. I know it went green. I think it was like in the sixes. Yeah, 6-9. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right where it should be. Not quite a 7. Very close. Let's see what the fans are saying. I know the Illinois faithful were decent back and forth. This Illinois team was special. I hate Dan Hurley, but super impressive how he's handled the tournament play the past couple of years. There it is. Oh, man, Al Hump was there. Man, heartbreaking way to end the season. Love this team and love this run. We just didn't play our best ball, and to win a natty, you got to shoot the ball better than we did. 3 assists the whole game, just won't do it against a good UConn squad. Great. A natty? A natty is a national championship. It's like the abbreviated kind of sports vernacular way.
Who won the women's? I saw a take about who won the women's basketball, college basketball.
Who won the women's college basketball? Maybe South Carolina, I think.
No, because they were trying to do both.
UConn was, yeah, but they lost. Gino Auriemma actually was in the news because he had like an interaction or altercation with the. No, I think they're out though. I'm pretty sure they're out. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure UConn's out because I saw Gino Auriemma like had a weird interaction with Dawn Staley, who's the coach of South Carolina. So South Carolina beat them, right? Yeah. So men's is still alive, but women's is out. No?
They still have to play.
Are we sure about that?
On Sunday.
Today? Oh wow. UConn is in still?
Yeah, it's South Carolina versus UConn.
Oh yeah, UConn's out.
Yeah, UConn's out.
Okay, so that's what happened. Gino, this incredible, basically like the Dan Hurley of UConn women's basketball, and Dawn Staley, who's the head coach of South Carolina, had like a post game. You're supposed to like shake the other coach's hand or whatever, and I think he said something. All I saw was like the headline of his apology. He said it was totally unacceptable. So I think he was being a bit of a diva. Yeah. Braylon Mullins. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this game actually was super close until I think about 3 minutes left or 2 minutes left. Illinois was within, I want to say 3 points. And then Braylon Mullins came off the screen and hit his only field goal of the second half, which ended up being a back-breaking 3. Kid is fearless for a freshman. Just big shot after big shot. And I think if UConn has any chance tomorrow, it's going to be about Terrace Reed. And he's going to have to somehow figure out how to get shots up over Mara, because Mara is so big. Mara is like 7'2" in his own right. And it's going to have to be Braylon Mullins. It's going to have to be my guy, Solo Ball. Caravan's going to have to, look, it's just going to require, I think at this point, a Herculean effort to beat this Michigan team, because based on what we saw last night in game 2, which is the downfall, was kind of like where the wheels came off. It's a certified stinker in the Final Four with a 3-0 big old tomato staring right at us in the face. I think this will be up there with one of the worst rated games of all time, given the volume, given how many people we got so far, 113 people chiming in. Ooh, yeah, 1-6 from the Arizona fans. So 6-1 for Michigan. I think that is super respectable, and I think that is noble of them to call it what it was. Like, sure, you got the win, and it was an absolute beatdown, but was it entertaining? I suppose. I mean, I guess you'll take that, right? It's like you'd rather win than not, so you'll get it anyway. But man, this game was over before halftime. Like even at halftime, we were saying to each other, like, what has to happen for this to even be competitive? And whatever we said, it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Well, I was saying, I don't think this, like, they're each number one seeds in their own region.
Oh yeah. So she was asking, is there like why was Arizona number one seed? And I was trying to explain to her, like, up until this game, they were actually playing like a number one seed. They were handling business. Every team that they were playing, they were beating soundly. It wasn't really a right.
That seed versus that seed.
Well, and then I countered and said, people forget, like, Michigan was having a tough time with Howard, who was a first four team, a team that barely got into the tournament in the first place. They got their first ever tournament win in the first four, which granted them their matchup with Michigan. And then they played Michigan super tough until halftime, even after halftime. So I think what you had last night here was a perfect storm of an Arizona team that showed up and then just got throttled and had no answer. Like, they got punched in the mouth and they were down on the mat, kind of trying to get, regain their consciousness. And it just never happened. I thought that the shooting was abysmal. I thought that Michigan defense was everywhere. It also seemed like Michigan was just playing at a different speed, and their guys were way more. The moment wasn't too big for them. And I think you even had, oh, my camera got smacked. You had Yaxel go down in the first half with that MCL injury, which I thought, I was actually really upset. I didn't want it to go down like that. But guess what, folks? It didn't matter. You did not need Yaxel Landenborg last night. If you're the Michigan Wolverines, you had that game in hand, even though he came back and hit some shots, and it looks like he'll be fine for the champ. They didn't even need him.
How come do you think a team?
Yeah.
How come do you think when a team is doing bad, it's like they almost just give up? Like,
I don't think they give up. I don't think what you saw last night was them giving up. I thought, by and large, like, the shots that they were taking weren't going in. They were there. The shooting was terrible. And when the shooting is bad, it's almost contagious. I think there's
it's like it was so bad in the first half. So why during halftime did they not? Like, what was happening?
I mean, it's hard to say at halftime, like, hey, you have to shoot better. So, like, make sure next half you make your shots. It's like, it's a mental thing as much as it is like the will to win, to want to win. Your shots have to go in. And also, nobody stepped up from Arizona. I thought Koa Pete was going to be that guy. You also had, like, Burries, who was off. You also had Bradley was off. They were all off, man. Even Krivas, the big man, was missing some birdies there, and Mara absolutely dominated him. So kudos to Michigan. Obviously, they are primed. They are in the driver's seat here to win their first championship in a long time. Can we research that? When was the last time they won a championship? Mara is the player of the game there. Yeah. Hayden says, "B, when I forget I'm playing in the Final Four." I said, this is up there with an all-time flop job. A certified, verified stinker McDinker. Who's that? Wow, so it's been a minute. Okay. And UConn is 2004.
Last time they reached the championship game was in 2018, losing all four. So 1989 was the last time they won.
Fab Five. So, yes, I said this is up there with an all-time flop job. A certified, verified sticker McDigger. Michigan is great, but Arizona simply didn't show up. And I am somehow rooting for Dan Hurley. So that is right. I want UConn to pull off the upset. Oh, here's what I don't want. I don't want a repeat of this game. So if anything, I just want this to be competitive basketball for the championship. I think we deserve that. After how incredible this tournament has been, I am hopeful that we get a vintage UConn Hurley coaching masterclass versus, it's crazy to think too, like UConn being an underdog in this after everything that we've seen from them from the past when they went back to back, and just how incredible, like that first one when they just mowed through Purdue. That was the very first championship game in Rate Game when they went back to back. Was our very first championship game, and I remember that game not being close at all. I think
I was going for UConn, but I kind of want Michigan since it's been 10 years.
You want Michigan?
Like I want UConn because it was atrocious yesterday.
Yeah, I just want a good game.
Now Michigan.
I just don't want to see another red here. That would be terrible. That would be. I mean, that would just be such a like lame way to go out on what has otherwise been an incredible tournament. You know, a tournament that's given us such great shots, such awesome stories. For it to kind of end on a whimper like this was trash. I was at this game and saw 2 drunk Arizona fans get carried out, and it was more entertaining than this game. Oh dear. I guess Yaxel being on that Instagram live and Elliot Cadeau just chucking stuff up all game didn't matter. Should be a fun championship game though. Terrible game. Michigan is one of the best teams ever. Yep. What a terrible game. UConn versus Michigan is literally Hitler versus Satan. What do we do to deserve this? Oh my goodness. That's a Purdue fan, so that makes sense. There was I witnessed the mauling of a Wildcat by a Wolverine on April 4th, 2026. Well said, Sammy 6221. All right, so that was your final 4. We had a green and a red. Opposites in game 1 and game 2. We got the championship coming in tomorrow night, and we got the pick'em, which we'll close with. So back to the vault here, or rather, yes, we'll go to baseball, and we'll go to my guy Jo Adell, who some say made, where is he? Oh, all the way down here. Perfect. All right. So, well, Jo Adell. Jo Adell last night, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of the world, did something I've never seen before, and we need to talk about it. So let us first watch what this man did. Did I not tee it up? I thought I did. Oh, you know what? It's on my profile. That's why. Oh, cool. I'm live. Look at that. I've never seen that before. All right. So here it is. Maybe we go to the media one. Look, he's stunned. He's like, what? He can't believe it. So Jo Adell, man, this guy was a super highly touted prospect and came into the show and just did not have the start that I think everybody was hoping for. He kind of flamed out and was sent back and forth from the minors to the bigs, minors to the bigs. And quietly last year, he had kind of like a breakout year. He had 37 home runs. I didn't know he was known for his defense. This was kind of the craziest. Like, look at this picture, man. This picture, I thought when I first saw this picture that this was like one of those super fans that gets dressed up as their favorite player and then goes and kind of just like cosplays as them in the stands through the whole game. I didn't realize that this is actually a shot. This was like, what we just saw from him making that third robbery, being inside the fence or on the outside of the fence and then holding it up for confirmation, because that's what you have to do. You have to show the ump that like, hey, it's still in my glove. And yeah, I think this is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a baseball game. Not one, not two, but like, think about that. The ball has to be hit near you. It has to be a home run. Like, you have to be preventing it from a home run. And it has to happen 3 times. And the second and third time happened within an inning of each other. There was the 8th and 9th inning, and it was a 1-0 game. So this guy literally won them the game by robbing 3 potential runs. The Mariners should have won this game 3-1 if not for Jo Adell. Instead, they end up winning 1-0. It's just absolutely sensational. And 7-5, I mean, I gave this a 9. If you're an Angels fan, you got to be just like, yeah, 3 robberies. I would say I watched the highlights, but the highlights were the whole game. 3 Jo Adell home run robberies. Absolutely insane. Angels pitching was great again, and their offense wasn't, but a Zach Neto homer led to the game. And my GOAT, Jo Adell, robbed 3 home runs. Darth Plague, man, I'm very happy for you. The #1 Angels fan. This guy's been through it. I would say him and Captain Crunch are 2 of the most loyal baseball fans I've seen with regard to just the consistency and then their respective teams. This other guy, Captain Crunch, that I'm talking about on RateGame, is a Chicago White Sox fan. So I always, when something like this happens, I do like one of those, like, yes, like, she's such a great thing. The angel in right field, when someone robs a home run. Oh, look at this. We got a little post from Landon. Someone robs a home run. It's an incredible play that can save a run and have a huge momentum boost. When you rob 3 in one game, that can win your team the game. That's what Jo Adell did last night. He had one of the best defensive performances of all time and won the Angels the game. He sets the single game record for most home runs robbed at 3. I don't even know if that's a record that they keep, but he definitely has it. We will all remember this for a long time. That is absolutely amen. Amen, Landon. Well said. And No More Fielders had an incredible take. There have been 699 3-homer games in MLB history. Tonight, Jo Adell accomplished the first ever 3-home run robbery game. Amazing. Snail, this effing stupid sport that I love and adore. Love it. Love it. And that was I kept my streak alive, folks. 215 days in a row. I have rated at least one game. Your boy has the #1 spot. 7-5. That is what we say. Well, Jo Adell. All right. So going to land this plane in the only way we know how, and that is to talk about the Pick'em leaderboard. So I would say since the Sweet 16, we've had one guy who was above the rest, and that was Jimmer Range. That's one of our tried and true college basketball creator extraordinaires. He had seemingly distanced himself from the pack. Only a monumental slip up, a 0 for 2 on Final Four could have sent him spiraling back.
We don't have to talk.
There he is, right on cue. So I was, super keen to see this every round as it was progressing, because he managed Jimmer. I mean, dude, you were on fire, man. I think the first weekend you went 30 for 32 or something crazy where you only missed 2 picks, and the 2 picks was like high point. It was like 2 upsets that everybody got wrong. So going into last night, I thought you were going to split. I didn't think you were going to go over 2. So that creates for some fantastic drama now, folks, because here's what we're looking at. Okay. We got the championship game tomorrow, and we got Packers who went the opposite of Jimmer and made up the ground. So we have a tie for first place, 52 a pop. And we got Pancake who's one behind. So if they both miss and he gets it right, then we could have a 3-way tie. Okay, so there's a potential to have a 3-way tie for the final. We already have a 2-way tie, depending on how they pick. And this is why this final pick comes down to not just the pick itself, but if you see here, down here, can you see this? Should I zoom in? You also have to predict the score. Okay, so this is the tiebreaker. This is what's going to separate the winner, the badge receiver, from the second place finisher, who everybody will forget. So not only do you have to pick the winner right, you have to predict the score. And the way that we'll do it is we will take the person who is the closest to the actual score. So let's say the score is like 80. Oh, my producer's like, you don't need to explain how this works. We know how this works. You got it. All right. Sorry about that. I got to give my audience more credit. Yeah. The pick. Oh, okay. So 15, only 15, but we got a whole day. Oh, somebody just made their pick. You see that move? Somebody just made their pick. Somebody's going Michigan. So yeah, this will make for some drama. We got a second storyline building here with a tie atop the leaderboard. Packers and Jimmer Range going toe to toe. So that is what we got cooking. We also got a full slate of games today. Let's check it out. Got the NHL. We got baseball. We got basketball. We got basketball. We got the Mets. Oh, man, this is a massive slate. Massive slate. So good news for us. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. He is risen. Talk about an all-time comeback. Probably one of the greatest comebacks of in mankind. And yeah. What's that? Is Dan Hurley the Easter Bunny? Yeah. Put bunny ears on Dan Hurley. I'm sure he'd love that. All right. We will call that a show. Great show. Thanks for watching. We had, I think, 19, 20 people on the stream. Love that. Appreciate you guys. Happy Easter. My name is Nick Mark George. There's 67 days left until the World Cup. It's a great day to rate some games. I'll see you tomorrow.